movie, why I show you this video or short clip is because we're going to do about this month topic about humans and animals, right? Can you imagine, Jaden, if you have the gift to talk to animals and they, oh no, please, Jaden, Dr. Jaden, please don't put me into that cage, and then if you tell you, Dr. Judy, oh help me, I'm in pain. So can you imagine that if animals and humans can talk to each other and they know what is their rights and equality? Wow, just like this Dr. Doolittle, huh? Well, like it or not, sometime in life, we have all these small little episodes, like you can like how you say, like that you can feel like you're talking to the animals. You can feel that they are being discriminated. You can feel that the animals are asking for help. You say, please help me. Jaden, if really you can listen to what the animals talking to you and sharing their woes to you, would you like to have this power, Jaden? Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah. Would you like to have this power?
Huh?
Don't want
Don't want.
Why? Why you
Because
don't want to have this? Why?
because
Why? Reason?
because my house got a lot of ants, and then I get very noisy.
I'm a man, guys. Movie. Daddy, what? The ants are talking to me. They are. Daddy, but I can hear them talking to me now. Okay. Junie, would you like to have this power?
No,
Also don't want. Why?
because if they find out, I will be uh like be a lab rat.
You'll be what?
I'll be in prison and they'll do experiments on me.
So you're not the one doing experiments on that. And let's do it to Junie. Since he can hear our secret. Well, tonight when he sleep, we shall get him. Something like that. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. If you ask Uncle Raymond, I do like to hear what they say, but it's going to be very complicated. It's going to be very busy. It's going to be congested. It's going to be, oh my, insane, man. Anyway, let's talk about today's lesson. Just to share with you this, if you are free, you want to watch that movie. It's called Dr. Doolittle. I think they got part 1 and part 2. So animals and human rights and inequalities. So true and behold, it's true that, what are human rights? So today we are talking about human rights. Now, human rights are inherent rights that belongs to all individuals, regardless of their backgrounds, while inequality refers to the unequal distribution of resources, opportunities, and power among different groups or individuals. Why I say so? The relationship between the two is complex, as inequalities can undermine the enjoyments of human rights, and conversely, the promotions of human rights can be a powerful tool for addressing inequality. From thousands of years till now, Jaden and Junie, human have different eye levels, color bar, and the perceptions of individual race, religions, or even sexes also play a very important part of inequalities. In fact, this is not just for a set 1, 2, or 3 level. Maybe it's a bit higher level. For your higher ability thinkings, knowledge, and brain power here. The most important thing is that what you mentioned here is that is it so powerful that sometime in our life, it's like, that is my rights. You know who is Amos E? You can type now Amos, Amos E. He's really sorry, this is live recording. He's a bloody idiot guy. Okay, who's seriously an idiot, Junyi and Jaden. He was a Singaporean, but he's now in US lockup. Okay, he scolded Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. Jaden. Seriously, he said, holy shit, that finally died, that old man. And what happened is that when he was on trial, there was this man going to slap him. Well, everyone praised the man who was slapping Amos E, but unfortunately, he was sentenced to jail because of slapping Amos. So it's the rights, the freedom of speech here. And guess what? Jaden and Junie, he went to lockup. Then after that, he fled to US and become a pedophile. He have a lot of pictures of children's, all these things. And he made a big hoo-ha out of it in US and talk a lot of bad things about Singapore and saying that there's no human rights here in Singapore, a lot of things. Are you looking at them now? Jaden and Amos? Yeah, very sad, no? You look at it. Do you know about this guy? Don't know. If you watch 小孩不笨第一集 I'm not stupid. He was in that movie. Okay, if you look at his face now, it was a horrible face. It's like a drug addict. He speak very well English. No, seriously, it's like American slang. So because of, I want to bring up this case. Actually, I don't want to bring up in this lesson. Just suddenly I think of it last previous lesson talking about him. And look at this one here. Okay, while you're reading his article, you can multitask. Let's talk about this. Human rights are fundamental rights that are inherent to all human beings without distinctions of any kind, such as race, sex, nationality, ethnicities, language, religions, and other status. These rights include the rights to life, liberty, freedoms from slavery and torture. We are talking about 200-300 years ago when the blacks was being taken as slave and become slavery and become the tortures and tormentors of their life by the whites, and the freedom of opinions and expression they don't have. The rights to work and education confirm the blacks. They did not have all these privileges back in 200 to 300 years ago, and many more. So the human rights we are talking about, like the Amos if you are reading this article, practically he's deframing Singapore governments and everything. It's not just him. There's another guy called Michael Frey. If you type Michael Frey, he's an American guy who was in Singapore about 15 to 20 years ago. He did a graffiti, destroyed a lot of property in Singapore, and he was about to cane. And guess what? The American government, that time I think it's Bill Clinton, if I'm not wrong, told the government of Singapore, you are not allowed to cane my American citizen. Is that human rights? You are against the human rights, Juni. Very funny, yeah. Then our government stick fast there and say, no, sorry, this is the law here, and you have to adhere by the law of Singapore. Like it or not, we're going to cane him. Well, so there was a big hoo-ha appeals, found that wow, you're not good, you're against the law, all these things, the rights of what certain things are according to the American laws. And guess what? This guy after that, Jaden and Judy, he went back to America. Get cane and go back. You know what happened? In America, 所谓江山易改，本性难移 leopard never change his spot. You know what happened to Jaden and Judy? He punched out his father. He can't punch his father, he took drugs, did the same thing again, and end up back to the lockups. So the punishment that we did is our rights according to the laws. So inequalities, Junie, will you mind read the next two paragraphs, please? Thank you.
Inequality, in its broader sense, means the unequal distribution of resources, opportunities, and power within a society. It can manifest in various forms, including economic inequality, social inequality, political inequality, and horizontal inequality.
So you realize that this inequality is not just about economic wealth or income or even educational status or healthcare or even decision making. You know, in Malaysia, they got this group of Malays, and it's called Bumi Putra. Meaning that they are born and bred as a local Malays in Malaysia, and so in Chinese called 土生土长. So they are the first breed of the Malays in Malaysia. So they have privileges to have access to a lot of good things in Malaysia. So number one, the access they have is the land, healthcare, and a lot of good things. Like you put in the money in the bank, you got the highest interest than the rest. Those are practically are Jaden and Junie. They just depends on the interest and no need to 做工了. 守株待兔了. So is this fair enough? That is what they given to them because they feel that this was rightfully theirs. Can you imagine Jaden and Junie? Back in the Americans, the Red Indians, if they will be treated like the Bumi Putra, their generation, they don't need to work, they have a piece of land. How good they are, right? But unfortunately, they were treated not equal, prejudice, and about 6 or 3 million Red Indians was being slaughtered during the American Civil Wars or during the American independence years. Next paragraph, Juni.
Inequality and human rights are closely linked. Inequality can create barriers to the full enjoyment of human rights, particularly for those who are marginalized or discriminated against. For example, poverty and lack of access to basic services like healthcare, education, and sanitation can significantly curtail an individual's human rights. Conversely, human rights principles such as non-discrimination and equality are essential for addressing inequalities.
So the relationship between you and your parents, Junie, okay, Jaden, you and your siblings, you and your friend, all of you and your cousin, you and your auntie, uncle, and your grandparents. We know our rights, we know our responsibility, we know our way of respect to that person. But sometimes, wow, I just recently watched a TikTok, Junie and Jaden. This man beat out his mother because the mother took away his drug and threw away to the toilet bowl. He was so desperate that he punched and kicked his mother. And after that, of course, he went to jail because of suspected of drugs case and things like that. And when he came out from the jail, he feel very upset for what he had done to his mother. And he was kind of 后悔, like feel very guilty about what he has done. And he agreed that his actions did not render any respect from anybody. And he admit that this was wrong. And he knows that this is not the right things to do because his mother is actually helping him to get rid of the drug addict. As the thing goes by, recently, Jaden and Judy, it was so surprising in Vietnam, the true story. The father killed the wife and two children, 17, a boy and a girl, son and daughter, 17, 19, and an aging mother, 79 years old. And he killed them, literally struggled them and strangled them and then died. You know what happened, Junie and Jaden? Then after that, he took some sleeping pill or something to kill himself, but he did not die. And then after that, he woke up, he ran away from province to province in Vietnam. Then later, he was caught. So the judge asked him, Jaden and Junie, why did you kill your family? You know what he said? I think it is my right to do the job. He said, huh? Why? Because I want them to get away from poverty. I don't want them to suffer in poverty. I feel hurt that I can't provide them something like the good life. So therefore, I decided to kill them. And even asked the judge, say, please execute me immediately now. It's like, Jaden, huh? Do you have the rights to kill your children like that? If you are living in poverty, it's your problem to solve the poverty. It's your duty and responsibility to do something for the family, not just to kill them. Now, after all, they are living more than 10 over years, 17 years old and 19 years old. That means this man has been living with their family for more than 20 years. And now you're telling me you cannot take kids, and that is your rights to take away another human rights to live. True story, very sad in Vietnam. So these two stories tells us that, the intertwined relationships is very important. So sometimes, guys, if you are very stressed, don't just sit there and bang on your chairs or get stressed out. Talk to people, right? Because the impact of inequality of humans is very dangerous. And if you're not able to solve it, you're going to go crazier. Back to you, Jaden. Thank you, Julie.
Economic inequality, in particular, can undermine social mobility, making it harder for people to improve their living conditions and access opportunities. It can also lead to social unrest and instability, creating a climate where civil and political rights are at greater risk. Moreover, inequality can erode trust in institutions and undermine the rule of law.
Jaden, Julie, if you dare to go to Brazil, to put on your earpiece and with your wallet holding on your hand, or maybe your handphone, good luck to you. There are a lot of street gangs and robberies and street poor homeless children will just pull your earplugs or even snatch away your wallet or even snatch away your chain. And if you chase after them, good luck to you, you'll be beaten up by the gang. So because the gang are all over the street, you're living in that kind of country where poverty is surfacing everywhere in Brazil. And surprisingly, Brazil has one of the biggest population in Christianity. Mostly are Catholic, if I'm not wrong. And what the hell are they doing with all these poor people that the government is not doing anything? Because the economic inequality, the rich get riches and the poor, how come the rich get riches and never help the poor and give them some like basic Maslow theory, the housing, the education, the food, the shelter? So you see, the most poisonous animal or poisonous thing on earth is not a cobra or scorpion sting or any insect bites. I think the most poisonous things on earth is our tongue. The tongue is the most poisonous things because it speed 就是吐出来. The speed of the words that you say can hurt and harm a lot of people. Let's talk about the next one. Junie, I can't see your face. Thank you. Thank you, Junie. Can you bring down your camera, please? Thank you. Some more, some more, some more, some more. At least I see your head. Some more lah. Thank you, Jaden. Can you carry on? Why you keep moving up and down?
With the camera.
Allah, bring down lah, like Jaden like that lah. You have been doing like that.
I
Every
will
time see your fan. I see your fan. I turn. My eye also turn. Carry on, Jaden. Can I move down already, Junie? Okay, Jaden.
Human rights frameworks, including international human rights law and national legislation, can be used to address inequalities. For example, the right to non-discrimination requires states to ensure that all individuals have equal access to opportunities and resources. The right to social security and social protection can help to mitigate the impacts of poverty and inequality. Furthermore, promoting access to justice and accountability can help to address systematic inequalities and ensure that those responsible for human rights violations are held accountable.
Gentlemen, you remember last 2 years you studied the history of Singapore, right? You study about the Maria Hathor, the Hotley Bus riots, and then the racial riots. And the most important thing is the one that I want to bring out is the racial riots, the rights. At that time, the Utasan Melayu newspaper by Malaysia, they were criticizing and blaming and framing that Singapore government is throwing away the Malay from the Geylang Serai and saying that, oh, you see lah, the Chinese, the government who are majority Chinese throw away all the Malays from the kampung. But because that time we do not have social media or Facebook to prove that we are doing for the sake of improvement their quality of life and improve their human rights and improve their freedoms of choice and freedom of expressions in the way to cultivate the Geylang Serai is one of the best. If you study the Raffles Plan, town plan, you know that Chinatown belongs to the Chinese. And then the Tekka, it belongs to the Little India, of course, the Indians from India. And of course, the Geylang Serai for the Malays and the Bugis, right? Bugis MRT, the Bugis belongs to the group of another Bugis peoples from Indonesia and the parts of the seamen, farmer, and fish, no, farmer, fishermen. So Singapore are kind of a place that divided into different types of race as well as religions. Well, at that time, the Malay governments in Malaysia started defaming that Mr. Lee Kuan Yew is really a bad person. But after that, when they start to see there's the improvement of the quality of life of Malays and the improvement of the Geylang Serai, it's like, oh. And now you can see during Hari Raya, Prasa, and the place was lighted up. It's so brilliantly nice. Now, the government here in Singapore, you study social study, you should know, in chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, by now it should be 4 and 5. And assimilation and integrations is really important that to show what is human rights. And this topic is really related to social study because the next few topics we're going to talk about this. Jaden? No, sorry. Junie. Example of inequality affecting human rights. So you realize this topic that Junie is going to read is not quite, it's very related to your issue 1 and 2 in the social study. Back to you, Jaden. Junie.
health. These disparities in access to healthcare and resources can lead to unequal health outcomes, with marginalized groups experiencing higher rates of disease and mortality. Unequal access to quality education can limit inadequate housing and conditions.
Yeah, education.
Unequal access to quality education can limit opportunities for social and economic advancement. For perpetuating a cycle of inequality.
Housing?
Discrimination in housing access can result in inadequate housing conditions and homelessness, particularly for marginalized communities.
Political participations.
Disparities in political representations and participation can limit the ability of certain groups to influence decisions that affect their lives.
So you realize that with these four things that what we have learned a few weeks or few months ago about the Maslow theory, the five basic needs, right? Okay, so this is one of the things. If you have not healthcare, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, the pain of health, live up to a good, healthy lifestyle. Now, imagine the kind of all the sick people, people with disease, or people with like the last few years of COVID-19, that kind of things. Wow, it's really very sad. The mortality rates will be very high, and you create a lot of problem. And then if the education is not correct, not right, if you all read the Oliver Twist story, you'll know that during the Industrial Revolution in England, a lot of poor British or English people are being deprived of educations. And that's where what is the name? Charles Darwin was writing this book about these inequality things, about this animal farm as well. And of course, Oliver Twist to show the other ugly sides of countries that do not provide education and housing because of all the political corruptions. That means sometimes Jaden and Julie, a well-educated person might be really an idiot. It's not the poor people who are uneducated, they are idiots. In fact, the person who are more educated, they will find a lot of scheme being a sly, cunning, shrewd, unscrupulous, disgusting behavior to get rid of others in order to make themselves famous, reputable, and full of arrogance attitude. In conclusions, human rights and inequalities are intricately connected, you see? And that's why I say just now about the rich and the poor. Addressing inequalities is crucial for the full realizations of human rights. And human rights principles and mechanisms provide valuable tools for tackling inequalities and promoting a more just and equitable world. So why Uncle Raymond, when I was young, I always dreamed to be a lawyer. A lawyer to fight for inequality, justice, peace, and against prejudice and discriminations and favorism. Unfortunately, so I can't. Maybe God has a better path for me to be the teachers instead of a lawyer. Nevertheless, it is important for myself to know that being a teacher, we must show unbiasedness of both sides of the coin. But sometimes, Junyi and Jaden, Uncle Raymond do have some favorism. I'm human after all. Okay, I know certain thing I do might not be fair enough. But then is how I perceive things. Like imagine Junior and Jaden. I might be favorism and feel good to certain group of people, like for example, special needs kids, okay, or spastic kids, or children with handicap. I tend to be more favorable to them, and I feel that they need more favorism and more support. Yes, true and behold, that I say, hey, no need lah. I know I'm especially a handicap, but I no need your 同情, your sympathy, your empathy. But that's me. I mean, seriously, Jaden and Junie, there's no rocket science when you are in the MRT train. Then you see the what the seat the what is that seat called? That for elderly, what you call that? Always I can. What is that seat called? Uh, any idea, Jaden? What is the seat that give seat to the elderly? What is that seat called? Suddenly I lost track. Needy seat. No, no, it's not needy seat. What is that seat, Julie? Not special needs seat.
Community seat.
Priority seat, is it? Is it priority seat? Yeah. What do you say, Junie? Priority seat.
Yeah.
So the priority seat is obviously something Uncle Remo will sit there, or I don't sit at the priority seat and see an old person coming. I think all of us will know. If this old few man or ladies ama or going to come in, of course we will give up the seat. This is very natural. No need to rocket science to tell them, hello, give your seat away to the elderly. Okay, what is my human rights. Ready? I feel that human rights have needs to their 5 Rs. Please take this seriously because it might help you in your social study, in your essay writing. This is my formula. First of all, you must respect one another rights and belief and actions. Teaching social study for more than since 2005 to now. Oh my goodness, 20 years or longer. I think 20 years, yeah, 20 years or longer. Knowing that it is very important, religion is one of the most important compared to race. So next, we talk about responsibility. Once you give respect, you must show your responsibility to take ownership to show you can do a good job with clear conscience. 问心无愧. Once you take the responsibility and respect, you must show your resilience that whatever decision you make is going to be positive, it's going to be not against someone, rights, and you need the ability to ensure you can fight all odds and against any challenges in life. Believe in yourself. If you think that, just like I asked you, Junie and Jaden, do you support LGBT or not? Correct. This is a very sensitive issue. And as you know that nowadays LGBT or this or do you support abortion or not? That kind of very sensitive questions or topics or discussions. So you have to make your own stand. Okay, guys, write down this word retrospect. Now, please write down this word retrospect. In retrospect, the evolutions of human rights reflects a global movement towards recognizing inherent dignity and equalities for all individuals, with significant milestones achieved in the 20th and 21st century. However, challenges remains in ensuring universal protection and addressing systemic inequalities. What do you think you can do better looking back on or dealing with the past event or situation? Now, write down this word retrospect. So, for example, Jaden, in retrospect, okay, from what you can do, let's say so Jaden and Julie, later. So result, whether what will be the outcome of your rights and life, you have to take over the consequences and bearing. So Jaden and Julie, if I can turn back the clock, I don't need to turn back until PSLE. If I can turn back the clock, say to 1st of January 2025 this year, in retrospect, what will you want to do, Julie? How are you going to make your life much better for Sec 3? Back to you, Junie.
Study more.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Study more.
That's all.
Yeah.
No other thing.
Probably find a good hobby.
Sorry.
Find a good hobby.
Okay. So in retrospect, you want to be, and there's a transformations of your life to study more, find a good hobby so that you can study and balance your life. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Junie. How about you? In retrospect, Jaden, what would you want to do if, let's say, you can turn back the clock from 1st of January 2025?
Or just learn from mistakes and then do the things you do wrong better.
Do you think you have done well for the past 6 months? In retrospect, to ask yourself, see, that's the word in retrospect. Do you think, like looking back on dealing with the past events, see, that's retrospect. In retrospect, have you really sit down? This is a very important question to both of you. Next year is the super important. You have to think and sit back and think, hey, hello. Did I did well for the past set 1, 2, and 3? No? Now I'm set 4, let's say 2026. In retrospect, what have I done? What have I made myself to be so good and powerful? What am I going to do this coming O-level exam? You see, you get what I'm saying? So this is very important to see yourself. Let's say now, okay, you all should pass in set 3 and then go to set 4. But in January 2025, I'm not sure we are still going to meet again in 2026 to continue or not. Life is so unpredictable, and whatever it is, we will see how it goes. The result is that in retrospect of the past 3 years of your life, now you're set for 2026. What rights do you have to make your life more magnificent, more motivating, more marvelous? And the one is that more majestic to what you're going to do. If I were you, I will start to prepare a list of things that I need to do. And it happens to me, Jaden Juni. When I was Set 3, I told you this story many a times already, many times until you get sick and tired. In Set 3, I was a flop. I feel a lot of all my subject, I think only literature I passed. Then when I come to Set 4, I decided to every day spend about more than 5 to 7 hours per day to study. But true and behold, Jaden and Junie, I never able to catch up what I lost in Set 3. In fact, until today, Jaden, every day, sometime at night, I will wake up at nightmare. Have I done my E-math homework? I still went back to my Set 3 and Set 4 life, Jaden. And until now, I'm 50 plus. And sometimes I say, Raymond, have you done your math homework? Until I got this phobia in me, no, that encrypted, no, in retrospect, that I've done well in my life now. But I still worry of, hey, I forgot to do my emails, and I'm so worried that I feel my email, I can't go to my JC. That is the biggest regret I have. So guys, be careful. Since Uncle Raymond went through this path, so your parents and I have went through some ups and down path in retrospect of our life that we dealt with. And so therefore, we do not want the both you 去走冤枉路啊。你明白吗？ So 希望你们 I would say that the both of you, when you're growing older, like you're 30 years old, 40 years old, what are you going to tell your children in retrospect of what you have learned when you were in Set 3? So now your son and daughter now in Set 3. What are you going to tell them about your story, about your Set 3 life? You get me? You get me? So Jaden and June is very important. It's not just like study, you got A1s. Because life is not like that. I passed my result very well. Until today, even my math from F9 to A2, then back to B3, I'm still very happy in my O-levels result. But when I go to JC, my A math got E8. Even from F9 to E8, I'm still very proud of my result for math. But then again, of course, my other subject, if not, I wouldn't be sitting here, right? But again, I still feel something missing in my life. In retrospect, what I have done so much to help to do for my math. But in retrospect, I feel that I really thanks to my math teachers who really rain or shine, raining cats on dog, whatever. She will really force me to stay back in class to finish out my math. And because of her, wow, I got my math so well. So that's the reason why after that, I never think of being a teacher. In retrospect, I was always thinking I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. I want to study law. I never want to be teaching and sitting here and teaching you all. Seriously, never think of that. I never think there's a Zoom 20 years or 30 years ago. But that is everything have been passed. Okay, why? Because look at this picture here. So this is a ladder to climb up, guys. So just like your study, your set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, then your result. Once you got your result, where you go, JC or poly, right? Something like that. So the very first step that you want to respect people, human right, the very first step is to respect people. If you don't show respect, then you cannot take the responsibility seriously. Without the responsibility, you cannot show resilience because you have biasness. So once you have resilience, you have the retrospect in terms of you look at it, oh, hey, I learned this in my social study, I learned in my VIA, I learned in my CCA, I learned in life in the church, or something like that. So as a result, you know that all races are equal. Okay? So let's go. We talk about we watch this video. So let's go about human rights are a set of principles concerned with equalities and fairness. I'll read the first paragraph. Okay. They are not a recent inventions. And this equality and fairness is from many years ago. Ideas about rights and responsibility have been an important part of all societies. You see, responsibility, which I have the words responsibility here, right? Where am I? Sorry. Have been an important part of all society throughout history. Since the end of World War II, there has been a united efforts by the nations of all the world to decide what rights belongs to all people and how they can be best be promoted and protected. A very good example, guys. If you're going to take history for JC or further study, or even in the business world, you cannot miss this topic called the rights of the Israelites. Israel people, the Jews, before World War II, they don't have a country, a home that they can go to. They are homeless, nomads, gypsy. back to the Bible, if Jaden, you should know, back in the Bible, Moses started with Israel and Jerusalem, and that's where my God Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day. But then again, you have to understand now, this land was holy land that is being provided by God to this group of people. But unfortunately, there's one whatever reason in retrospect of a lot of events, our dear Jews people, they were homeless. But after World War II, they decided to go back to the Israel, and their flag, the Israeli flag, is the Star of David. All right, the Star of David, if you look at the history, you should know. But moving forward is that they have the rights to stay there. But again, Junie and Jaden, when they settle down, all the Arabs country, the Muslim countries say, no, no, no. This land doesn't belong to you. Okay, so what happened? They have a six day, was it 6 day or 6 day war? And with six country or 5 country fighting against Israeli general, that's only one eye only. And with the Arabs 50-10 or 5-0 versus the ratio is 1 Israeli tank versus 50 Arab tank. Don't believe Jaden and June, you can Google now. And guess what? Israeli, the Jews won the rights to until today that Israel. So now there are a lot of people say that Iran want to attack Israel, Iraq. So back to the history of thousands of years until now, a lot of countries want to take back Israel, Jerusalem. No one is successful. So if you talk about religions, is it true that God is really protecting the Jews, the Israeli, the rights to own that piece of land? I do so. I do believe so. Because God is very powerful. I mean, Jaden, you are Catholic also, right? So, I mean, sorry, Junie, I don't know. So Jaden and Uncle Raymond, we think alike. And sometimes if you pray, and pray very hard, God will listen to your heart and God will give you. But Jaden, don't pray this. I want to get 781, but I don't want to study. I want to play my Minecraft. 你慢慢等啊，等你等到我心痛，等你等到没有梦，你怎么等也是没有用。So you have to put in the effort. The best thing is that you must say, Jaden, I want to pray that I will score 781. Give me the power, the courage, the determination and disciplines and dedication and devotions and dedications. And the most important thing is to give me the distinction mind to do well for every single subject that I'm going to embark on and to study with my heart and soul, without any failures and any distractions. God, Lord Jesus, pray for me that I will do well for the coming O-level exam with all my hard work. Amen. You do that every day, God will listen to your prayer. And of course, they say actions speak louder than words. And all the way to Dr. Jaden from Liverpool. What are human rights? Hey, Xiao, you better read like Amoa. Xiao, you better read like Amoa.
How to
British
read that
accent.
one?
Okay, Amor. You know it's Amor not? You know it's Amor not?
Yeah, I know.
Let's go.
Let me think how to read first.
Oh, I like that. The Liverpool accent, is it? Or the Manchester United accent, or a Tottenham Hotspur, or Arsenal, or Sheffield.
Overview. Human rights are a set of principles concerned with equality and fairness. They are not a reason.
Where are you? Where are you? Here, leh.
Oh, my bad.
And you're blue. That's why I was blur, leh.
Sorry,
Hello?
mate. Wrong paragraph.
Thank you.
Every person has dignity and value.
It's good. Damn it. I like it.
One of the ways that we can recognize the fundamental worth of every person is by acknowledging and respecting their human rights.
Oh, Johnny, well, bloody hell, that's good, man. I like it. I'm not sarcastic, bro. Come on.
Okay. Human rights are a set of principles concerned with equality and fairness. They recognize our freedom to make choices about our lives and to develop our potential as human beings. They are about living a life free from fear, harassment, or discrimination.
Whoa, that's true. Okay, stop. To live in the fear and harassment and discriminations is not what everyone want to live. I do live in a life, when I was childhood, I live in a life of fear, harassment, discrimination. Very sad. That was being traumatized and I have a bad childhood. And that was not the right things to do by those people to took away my rights. Back to you, Liverpool guy.
Human rights can broadly be defined as a number of basic rights that people from all around the world have agreed are essential. These include the right to life, the right to fair trial, freedom from torture, and all other cruel and inhuman treatment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and rights to health, education, and an adequate standard of living.
Holy shit, man, you seems like from Texas, the cowboy way to talking, man. You, hi, the sheriff. Hey, hello, brother. You're like from American Texas cowboy. The way you read, huh? Johnny, you agree, no? Yo, well, man, that's good for you, man. Hey, what to have the Texas chickens. Okay, let's be all fair. Sadly to say, the freedom of speech always create a lot of problems to all of us. What problems? The problems of when you saw the Amos E, yeah, you'll know what I mean. You saw a lot of people during the voting, no, sorry, the elections, the opposition like to talk nonsense, and sometimes they get in themselves into trouble. What happened? They land themselves into jail. So, like I say, the most poisonous is the tongue. So, and the mouth. No, what they say is, 祸从口出，病从口入. Whatever you eat, you go to your mouth and you create the whole bad things to your organs. Whatever you say out, you cannot say sorry, Jaden, I didn't mean it. But you really say it. So if I say Jaden, you're really a clown. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean you're a clown. You're a crown, 皇上, not the clown. So sorry, the choice of word is very important. Wherever you say sometimes not only hurt, but also can praise people. Whether you praise people or make people to be angry is something that we need to hold our tongue. So think twice, 三思和后行, before you talk, before you utter the first word and tell people. Next paragraph, please.
These human rights are the same for all people everywhere, men and women, young and old, the rich and the poor, regardless of our background, where we live, what we think, or what we believe. This is what makes human rights universal.
I like the way you say universal. Exactly. Sad to say, not everyone, what you read just now, is really have the equal rights that they will treat each other. You know, in India, the caste system, they will always think that the poor will always be there. Don't touch them. They are untouchable. That leave them rot and die, and that's it. And reborn to the next life. As far as I'm concerned, you came to this life as a lower caste, you just suck it out and stay with there. Junie, the Singapore English or the British English? Back to you, Junie.
Human rights connect us to each other through a shared sets of rights and responsibilities. A person's ability to enjoy their human rights depends on other people respecting those rights. This means that human rights involve responsibilities and duties towards other people and the community. Individuals have a responsibility to ensure that they exercise their rights with consideration for the rights of others. For example, when someone uses their free right to freedom of speech, they should do so without interfering with someone else's right to privacy.
So when you speak someone ill, or when you speak someone good, or whatever you speak to, yes, it's your freedom to speak freely with sense and sensibility. Yeah, you are supposed to speak with something that you if you really don't like this person. I'm sorry, Jaden. Will you be okay if say they you know in the Bible they say love your enemies, right? Wow, if they slap you, I love you. Go, no way, man, bro. Now you can imagine someone kill my entire family. Say, oh, I love you, thank you. No way. Sorry, I Jaden, no way. I will make sure I bring the whole entire army and wipe your whole entire clans or tribes. or country. Sorry. Then some parents told me, then you cannot be a Christian. Say bullshit, come on, guys. This is Jesus. Jesus said, love your enemy. Yeah, he's God. I'm not God. I'm just a human. I'm learning. There's no way to forgive and forget immediately. No doubt when Jesus was hanged on the cross that day when he died, he said, Dear God, love, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. But during the process, he also very hit. I believe Jesus also cannot take it. He knows he's going to die, and he knows he's going to betray, and he knows that he's going to be die in the agony death, and he knows after 3 days he's going to rise and will go to heaven. But after all, at that period of time, he's still a human that he feel that what have I done wrong, and why I come here to get the torture by this human who don't be who didn't believe at me at all. So the same thing is like, how do I protect the responsibility as a human being myself? When I talk to someone, if I don't like the person is he or she is my enemy, I have no way to speak good things about him. The only thing I also don't want to speak bad things about him. The only thing is I don't speak at all about him. That is professionalism. So you have the right to protect people's privacy. Yeah, because that is the best. But sometimes you don't talk well, is considered as rumors and gossip. And this rumor and gossip will create a lot of bad things. Julie, government?
Government have a particular responsibility to ensure that people are able to enjoy their rights. They are required to establish and maintain laws and services that enable people to enjoy a life in which their rights are respected and protected. For example, the right to education says that everyone is entitled to a good education. This means that governments have an obligation to provide good quality education facilities and services to the people. Whether or not governments actually do this, we generally accepted that this is the government's responsibility and people can call them to account if they fail to respect or protect these human rights, basic human rights.
Exactly. So how do we know that? You see, Singapore is such a good place. Even those people very poor, the government, thanks to your parents who pay taxes and these children who can't afford to go to school, and the government paying all the school fees, even the FAS. You should know what is FAS, a financial assistance scheme for the student who come from very poor family who can't afford it. They will have this money to tie through their educations or even scholarship and bursary and EduSave awards. All these what do you call this privileges and benefits and accolades to give to them is to make sure that they will come back and serve the society and do well for themselves and get rid of the poverty cycle. And the most important thing is that to help to serve the nations, the country again. And true in and behold, and that there are a lot of people who are very poor who has been benefited by the governments, and they know what this word called 饮水思源, and they pay back to the country. So am I. I really thanks to all the teachers who believe and trust and support and be kind to me. If not today, I won't walk the road be so successful in my life. And true and behold, and with my dads and mommy and all the uncles and auntie who really support me. If not today, I won't be able to sit here and give talks. I will be sitting in Changi prison already. So I have went through a lot of things in life, and I think the best way is education. A lot of people may disagree that education is not necessarily about textbook. Education is how you see the society and you face in the society, and that is more tougher. Lah. So what do human rights offer? Jaden?
Human rights cover virtually every area of human activity.
I'm so sorry, guys, because Dr. Jaden from Liverpool has an emergency things to do. So he's flying back with the British Airways on the emergency flight. So this is Junior Jaden from Singapore version. Back to you. They include civil and political rights. Right,
They
sorry.
include civil and political rights, which refer to a person.
Sorry, this is Dr. Jaden's grandson who is talking. He's only 5 years old, learning how to speak proper English. Okay, let's go. Grandson Jaden. Okay, carry on. Which refer?
Okay, which refer to a person's rights to take part in the civil and political life of the community without discrimination or oppression. These include rights and freedoms such as the right to vote, the right to privacy, freedom of speech, and freedom from torture. The right to vote and take part in choosing a government is a civil and political right.
Like it or not, it is true that everyone have a rights. Back in Northern Ireland in the 1960s, seriously, Jaden, the Protestant got 3 votes, whereas the Catholic only got 1 vote. You tell me how to win. Seriously, it's ridiculous. It's true, no? It's an old social study textbook. So Northern Ireland, the Catholic was being discriminated. They also include, carry on. Jaden?
They also include economic, social, and cultural rights, which relate to a person's rights to prosper and grow and to take part in social and cultural activities. This group includes rights such as the right to health, the right to education, and the right to work.
This is exactly in Singapore. We do not say certain rights are given to certain race. You know Malala, right? In your textbook, they got this girl called Malala in Pakistan. She was being deprived and discriminated and being biased and prejudiced for not able to go to school. So one day he took the school bus, and was sitting at the back of the school bus. One of the Taliban's fighter came in with the AK-47, and I think he asked her name, and straight away she shot her head twice. Miraculously speaking, thanks to the Allah, she survived and went to London to do operations. She want to prove that all women's girl or female, they have the right to have received education. They have the right to walk tall in the country and serve the country, not just the guy. But because of their Taliban's cultures and the belief in the Islamic, so-called according to their Islamic rules and regulations, girls are not supposed to go to school. In Saudi Arabia, if the women's to not, I think in Saudi Arabia, I'm not sure, in the Middle East, if a woman were to drive, the woman must be accompanied by men. And to some of the Middle East countries, the women cannot eat with the husband in the dining room. The woman had to eat in the kitchen. Jaden, Junie, you go and tell your mommy, your sister, and your ama eat in the kitchen, and then you and your daddy and your brothers eat in the dining room. You see what you get. You see what you get the next day. Only the next day, the next moment, you see what you get. But this is their belief. And you know, I checked already. In the Muslim world, Islamic world, the woman must walk behind the man. You tell your wife next time to walk behind you, see what you get. You will be sleeping in the kitchen the next thing. So this is called their rights, their belief. Seriously, it doesn't make sense. This is 21st century already. Why the women are always behind men? I cannot take it out. Carry on, Jaden.
The right to education is an example of an economic, social, and cultural right. One of the main differences between these two groups of rights is that in the case of civil and political rights, governments must make sure that they or any other group are not denying people access to their rights. Whereas in relation to economic, social, and cultural rights, governments must take active steps to ensure rights are being fulfilled.
So how can we do that? That we can make sure every citizen, every race, every religions, every creeds of life, or even we are talking about the cats, the dogs, the animals in Singapore. You know, recently got this lady, something wrong with her mind. She go and torture and kill about few cats. She has a lot of cats and kill a few cats, and end up because of this instability of her mind. I think she was sent to IMH or something like that. But then again, you know, back in the 20, 30 years, we don't talk about the rights for how to take care of the abandoned animals on the street. We don't even have a proper rules and regulation of being torturing the cats and dogs on the street. But as Singapore get developed and more civilized and more educated and more advanced, the paradigm shift is to show that everyone's, in retrospect, in what we do, we must respect others. Remember? And resilient on what we say and what we do, and hold the responsibility. As a result, that is called human rights. Back to you, Junie, as well.
So
Yes.
as belong to every individual, there are some rights that also belong to groups of people. This often in recognition of the fact that these groups have been disadvantaged and marginalized throughout history and consequently need greater protection of their rights. These rights are called collective rights. For example, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples possess collective rights to their ancestral lands, which are known as native title rights. Rights
Exactly, the Aboriginals' rights, like in Australia, in New Zealanders, or in New Zealand, sorry, New Zealanders are peoples, or even in Fiji's, in some part of which is part of the Australian New Zealand's that side, what call it, the coastal side, Pacific. These are the peoples who stay there for many years or hundred of years. And because of the encroachments of this encroachment by the whites who came in from the Britain side, and they make their countries, and then they share their religions, they share their belief, they share their education, they share their language. Yeah, they make them more civilized, but at the same time, they took away some of their rights. So this is important, especially if you're talking about law. So do you realize these topics here to this month might be a bit dry, might be a lot of brainstorming and thinking, because I need to beef up your brain cell to prepare for your coming exam. Rights can only be applied to individual, for example, the rights to be a fair trial or court individual rights, means innocent proven until guilty, or guilty proven until innocent. So the American Declaration's independence after George Washington's become the first presidents of the United States of America. And then we talk about the French Declarations of Rights of Men and the Citizens. And then we talk about the United States Bills of Rights to recognize where Abraham Lincoln's freed the slavery. So we realize these are all quite historical values and a lot of things that is really very dry. I use the word dry. I meant very monotonous, not really monotonous, but it really helps you to further understand when you think of a topic like this in your JC. So the developments of modern human rights, the 19th and 20th century saw the continuing advancement in social progress. For example, in the abolition of slavery by Abraham Lincoln's. And then, of course, because of that, he was being assassinated because of this. They took away the rights of owning the slaves. The widespread provisions of education and the extensions of the political rights. Despite these advancements, international activity on human rights remains weak. Why? Because not every countries will want to believe that I need to follow these rights. I need to adhere to this law. I need to abide by the rules and regulations that I will protect my citizen. Because there are some countries, they still feel that other race are still the second priority, a second-class citizen. If you tell me about Malaysia, yeah, Chinese, Indians, they are, but they are still considered like second class because the Malay, the Bumi Putra is still the first. The general attitude was that nations could do what they like within their borders and that other countries and the borders international community had no basis for intervening or even raising concern when rights were violated. I think the one and only countries that I can think of now is the North Korea. I think that human rights there is definitely not human rights. It's dictatorship rights. And another country, maybe in Cuba and maybe Vietnam. Vietnam, I'm not sure because they're run in communists. And China is also a communist country. Talk about human rights, maybe there's some limitations to that human rights in China because it's a communist country. No doubt it's kind of a bit of modified communist country, right? But then again, it's still a communist country. So the really human rights we're talking about is the USA and Britain. All right, so talk about these characters. Have you gone through this? No, right, Jaden? Let's go through this. How to do the essay writing here, huh? Let's go, customer. Jaden?
Characters, main and other characters involved in this situation, any 7 styles you are using, it will always involve you, the writer, the the person, group, organization, company, relatives, friends, or family members that you want to write to in order to complain, compliment, convince, control the situation, connect with friends, conduct training on VIA, contribute to be a volunteer, etc.
So don't worry, gentlemen. For future, if you want to do any SW, that is called situation writing, you can refer to this Bible or this piece of paper. I call it customer. You will be using FISPOP, hook up the questions. Okay, this one you know. Like they say, one man's meat is another man's poison. Is there a choice? I do think so. Ladies and gentlemen, today my speech is about you do have a choice to help the poor. So this is like a start off with a speech. So it's very important. And number S, the S is the style. So you will not find any of these in any of the textbook or in any of the assessment book or any guidebook in popular. Trust me, because I've seen that. And I don't really copy from that. This is my own after years of teaching. So what is the S? The S is, guys, take notes, Junie and Jaden. These are the 7 style. I heard number 1 and number 2 will be gone. Okay, the formal letter and informal letter might be gone because nowadays a lot of people are not writing letter anymore. It's more to the email as well as proposal, report, speech, and newspaper article. Take note, So you must know the to, from, date, the article, the date, who is it in charge, the title. The title is very important, and the tone. The tone here, Julie. Julie, your turn. Julie,
Form of writing. Happy, sarcastic, angry, sad, formal, or informal tone. Neutral, emotional, prejudice, bias,
prejudice.
excited, positive tone, negative tone. So what's the purpose of this tone for? To persuade, to criticize, to show sympathy, to show anger, or get some attention to this matter.
Okay, so take note, the tone for this SW is very important. Then, of course, Jaden and Junie, the best a lot of students, is it necessary must have 5 paragraphs? Yes, it will be better because first paragraph is introductions. Then paragraph 2, 3, and 4 is idea 1, 2, and 3. At least it must give 3 ideas using. So what you tend to talk about, the purpose, then what suggestions you want to recommend, and then how are you going to persuade the person to read your email or letter or proposal or speech or reports to convince them. And finally, the conclusion is to sign off. Please, can you do yourself a favor? I know teachers will say best regard, yours faithfully, yours lovely. That one is for mostly informal writing. But why don't you put informal and formal writing to both as yours sincerely? Take note, Jaden? So now using the 8W and 1H. With this, I think you can be king of SW. Let's go. Serious, I'm serious. Let's go. Why you?
Why you write this report? What is the purpose of this speech? When will the authority take action? Formal letter. Who will be coming with you? My cousin. Informal letter. Which VIA do you suggest for the school to go to? Proposal. Where can I make payment via online? Email. Whose idea will it be select? Whose idea will be selected for the upcoming event? Proposal. The person whom I met was the chairman of the charity. Therefore, how are we going to approach the approach will be a challenge. How is this newspaper article going to showcase to the readers?
With all these 8W and 1H, you already more or less know you already have a better want because you're able to express, elaborate, and with example. With that, we're using the craft here, and C stand for the customers. CUSTOMER. With the R is okay. R means you review, reassure, and your purpose of what you're going to do. Reassure and review is that R stand for your role, audience, format, tones, and situations. Roughs. Okay, customers is all this thing here using the rough situation. Okay. So this one we are talking about SW. So look here, audience, role, audience, format, tone, and situations for situation writing. So by looking at this here, please take notes. To, from, dates is very important in title. The title not more than 9 words. 7 to 9 words, and don't write less than 3 words. A title is best is from at least 3 words and to 3 to 9 words. Take note of this. The date is very important. To from date is very important. And title, if you miss out to and from, okay, don't miss out the date. I heard that if you don't write your date, you get penalized. Look here, guys. You see paragraph one? Paragraph one is introduction. Paragraph two is the idea one, idea two, idea three, and finally conclusion. You see? This was taken by one of the assessment book or guidebook. So it's like quite similar to my formula, the 5 paragraph here. Yeah, you see the 5 paragraph organized. Okay. So let's read on to this ones. Okay. You should look at the printout. Okay, so you came across a web page in which a foreign contributor complained about teenagers who was misbehaving at the void decks near the school. The contributor indicated that the teenagers was wearing the school uniform of your school. You are a prefect of your school. So this is a situation. So role is your prefect. You're writing to the discipline teacher, see, discipline master. And this is a situation here. And the tone, of course, is serious and concerned tone. Okay, that is the tone. The format will be a report. So you see, the rough come in very useful. How you came to know about the incident, 3 inconsiderate actions of the teenager, your suggestion of the school investigating the incidents to carry out appropriate punishment if necessary. So this is a forum by someone. Judy, I saw a teenager.
I saw a teenager loitering at a void deck near Central Secondary School. He was wearing the school uniform of Central Secondary School as well. Although he was alone, he was creating a dim by sitting on the tables and chairs with a stick that he was holding. I approached the
Can,
kid. I approached the teenager and told him that the noise which he was making could affect those who live on the lower floors. However, to my surprise, he not only ignored my advice, but he also started to make more noise by taking out his ball and kicking it against the walls. I was very angry, but I did not know where his parents or teachers were, and hence I did not know who I could approach to restrain the teenager. As I continued to wait for a friend at the void deck, I observed that the teenager left for a short while, only to return with cup noodles and a canned drink. The teenager then started to eat and drink messily, leaving behind shreds of noodles as well as spilling some of the drink on the tables under the void deck. He left without cleaning up the mess he had made. He was appalled by the inconsiderate actions of the teenager.
Thank you. Sorry, I went close the door. Thank you. So this is the forums, and you read this forum somewhere and Singapore Neighborhood Forum. So now you go and tell your teachers, your discipline master, Mr. Benedict, the central, the CSS schools discipline master, and that's you, James, prefect, and then the date, and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. Report on an incident outside this of the school, Jaden. I came across.
I came across a forum in which a contributor had posted an account of the inconsiderate actions of a teenager in a void deck near our school. I have decided to raise this matter to you as the contributor stated that the teenager was wearing the uniform of our school.
Oh my God. So this is an introduction really, telling the discipline that I read this article. And now I want to draw your attention to this and take up action soon. And why? Next paragraph.
The student in question had loitered at a void deck near our school by himself. He was found to be making much noise as he had used a stick to hit the tables and chairs at the void deck. Therefore, the forum's contributor had approached the student to ask him to stop whatever he was doing so as the noise could affect those living on lower floors. However, this was only met with an abrasive response as he started to make more noise by playing with a ball.
So you see, whatever you read on the forum, now you convert, now you know what I mean by passive voice. You convert the active voice to a passive voice, and that is very important when you're using in PSLE. Synthesis transformation, next paragraph, according.
According to the forum's contributor, the student then left the void deck for a short while and returned with cup noodles and a canned drink. The student was then seen to be creating a mess by showing little care as he ate and drank. He left without cleaning up the mess he had made.
Oh my God, this is very inconsiderate. Do you know, According to the law, this can be considered littering and is a punishable offense. Carry on.
In view of the incident which had purportedly happened, an investigation should be carried out by the school to find out if such inconsiderate actions were indeed committed by the student. Should the student be found guilty, a stern punishment should be carried out to deter him and other students from committing such inconsiderate acts. As our students represent the school, this would serve to prevent a possible damage to our school's reputation. James.
No, I don't like. You should put yours sincerely, James. Okay, and I don't like the conclusion. So, guys, please take note now. Every time when you end your conclusion, can you do this? I hope you can take immediate action soon. Thank you for reading this report. Um, have a good day. Thank you and have a good day. It's good to put like that, huh? Okay, let's do this little exercise here. Let's go. Let's do this exercise. Come back to you and drink water. Are you all done? Oh. Yeah. Oh, done already. Okay, good. Let's do the next one. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, then right now later. Oh, later. So you go by number like 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one come first? Is it A, B, C, D? Which one come first? So it's like putting the sentence is the best order. So if you think number one is D, then you start D. If you think number one is B, then you start B, then followed by C or followed by A. Oh, okay, Jaden, thank you. Waiting for Junie, then we go through the answer. We call it a day since we start about 7:50, right? We'll go through the answer, right? So, well, okay, thank you, Junie. So let's look at the answer. Okay, let's look at this one first. This one reading exercise 3. Yeah. You go by 3, 2, 1. Okay, sorry. So 3 should be go by alphabet. 3 will be C. Hello. Jaden, why you read the first one for 3, 2, 1, 4? Hello again.
Huh?
You read this one. Hello again.
Okay.
Like 3, 2, 1, 4. Hello again.
Hello again. How are you getting on? I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Very well, thanks. Let's get down to business, shall we? Yes, all right.
Number 2, Junie. Junie.
Miss, I would like you to meet Miss Jones.
No, look at my answer. 1, 3, 2, 4.
Huh? Like, I read,
Oh, sorry, because I lagging. So can you start again? Sorry.
Miss Fitz, I would like you to meet Miss Jones.
Okay, then number 3.
How do you do, Miss Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, please call me Liz, and I'm Claire.
Thank you. Number 3, Jaden.
I I'd like to introduce myself. The name's Alex White. Oh yes, I've heard of you. Pleased to meet you.
Okay, number 4, Junie.
Miss Long, could I have a word, please?
C,
Yes.
oh, hold on. Number 4, right? Number 4, it should be, oh, Friday rather difficult, is it? Let's start with C first. Number 4.
Oh,
Junie.
Friday is rather difficult. Miss Long, can I have a word? Wait, yes, Tony, of course. Miss Long, could I have a word, please? I wondered if I might take Friday off.
Okay, number 5, Jaden.
Geoff, could you come over for a minute? Yes, sure, Bob. What do you think? Aha, yes, you've put in a lot of work into it.
Well, number 4, very funny, eh? It's just say that, oh, Friday rather difficult. Yes, Tony, of course. Then you say that, Miss Lam, could I have a word with you? I wonder if I might take Friday off. Oh, Friday seems rather difficult. I would rather say, Miss Lam, could I have a word with you? Oh, yes, yes, Tony, of course. Uh, oh, Friday is rather difficult. I wonder if I can might take Friday off. Maybe this one a bit weird. I find number 4 a bit weird. Okay, number 1 here. Shall we read the correct answer? I start first. It is important to understand how other cultures behave so you don't cause offense. Number 2, Junie.
In some countries, it is quite offensive to use.
No, number 2 will be
Wait,
tricky.
let me see my answers.
My answer. Then I sent to the Zoom chat. Do you see that? I sent to the Zoom chat.
I don't see it.
Huh? Do you see now, Jaden? I sent it. No? Gone now. Aiyo, what's wrong? Have it? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I think something wrong with the Wi-Fi. Junie, can you do number 2, please? The answer is there, Zoom chat. Junie, number 2. Junie, can you hear me?
In some countries, it is quite
Tricky.
tricky to use the correct title when talking to business colleague.
Number 3, Jaden. So number 3, 4, 5, 6 will be Jaden. Easier. Go.
Uh,
Number 3.
Having good manners may help you make deals more easily.
Okay.
Ian has to be very Ian has to be very organized as his work involves meeting tight deadlines.
Yes, number 5.
Leslie doesn't like having to wait for other people to generate work for her.
Okay, last one.
Paul enjoys working at Small World because he finds the environment stimulating.
Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, Junie.
If if someone looks me straight in the eye without blinking, I tend to think they're honest.
Oh, wow, cool. Number 8.
Wait, my computer's lagging. I can't
Oh, I
see.
know, I know. That's why just now you the same. You see, when I send my answer, you're so lagging. Damn it. I understand. No, my answer, my Wi-Fi also. I'm in the room. That's the problem. Okay, number 8, please.
Your body
Language.
language usually give other people information about how you really feel.
Yeah, like the way you sit, like 坐定不安. Number 9.
Bob and Tony are business associates and have arranged to meet at a sales conference.
Associate can be also business partner. Okay, not dedicates. Dedicates are people who represent someone, in the business, but associate and partners are more powerful because they are together as a business. Number 10.
I have given the latest sales
figures.
figures to Mr. Allen, but he hasn't had a chance to look at them yet.
So the sales figure means the sales reports lah. Okay, it's like the things that you need to show them what it is. So he lived in Holland, so he must be a Dutch. She come from the US, so I think she is American. They speak French, so they could be French or Canadian. Number four, he is a Swede, but he can't speak Swedish. Oh my God. I became a Hungarian citizen when I marry a woman from Hungary and I get very hungry. Yeah, thanks. Jaden is like looking, oh my God, this uncle is crazy. And guys, take note of this. I will always put this here. And I want you to spend a few minutes to look through. And these are the questions essay here. So what are some ways young people can show care for the environments? I am expecting this kind of question maybe come out in your coming year-end exam. So I'm just predicting only. So second question is write about an event that was celebrated in your school and what part you played in it. Sweep the floor, pick the litter law. So boring. That is my VIA point. Because I need a few points to get A1. So I do this lah. What are the advantages and disadvantages of living in the city, town, or village? You tell me lah. City hall got Wi-Fi. Town hall very relaxed. Village there, oh, really laid back, man, bro. Write about an occasions when you hurt someone through your carelessness. Oh, I lost count at teacher. Why? Because I hurt a lot of people. Don't know which one to choose. They very troublesome. I think you got to see your DM first before you write this essay. Don't want because now you are the one get hurt by me. Okay, sorry. Describe an enjoyable party you attended with your family. Oh yeah, Taylor Swift brought us to his family and have fun because I'm very swift one. I'm very sweet. Yeah, Jaden, look at me. Yeah, your clown, Uncle Raymond. Okay, let's look at this. Thank you. You agree? Thank you. Present tense, past tense, and future tense. Take note of all this here because it's going to be very useful. Just keep memorizing how to do it, when to do it, where to use it, how often will you use it. How often will be the present simple, the past simple, and the future simple. And why are these all the tenses here are super duper whooper important? Because it will help you in your none other than your editing. Okay, your editing is very important in this one here. Okay, just quickly look through, please. All right. I will flash again every time I've got time. I want you to keep knowing. You know, it's like I will. By right, it's not be will. I shall do it. It's not will, but I don't know why they put will here. All right, thank you, class. It's about 9:22.